used to this using this thing. All right, guys, welcome back. So today I'm gonna start using this kind of mic here for the live lessons and the lives. This is one of my lessons learned, right? I was using that other little wireless microphone. It was picking up a lot of background noise. So I'm gonna try this for a minute. But what I decided to do is, since I set this up and I have the talk box hooked up to it, I'm gonna show you guys how the talk box works, right? Real quick video just to walk you through the idea, because I've had people reach out and ask me, hey, if you get a talk box, do you need to use a microphone? Yes, you do need to use a microphone. The microphone is what is picking up the sound that the talk box is generating. Because what's happening here is, you see this rubber hose? The other side of this hose is connected to the talk box. The talk box is nothing more than a very small amplifier with a speaker that's pointing right into this hose. It's sending the sound up this hose, and when you put your mouth around it and start modulating the sound, you end up with the sound that the talk box makes, right? So we're gonna do it in the jambi solo. That's usually where I use it, is in the jambi solo. And I'm gonna walk you through how it works. So first, we're gonna do it without it, right? Just so we get a taste of it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in the talk box, and we're going to see the difference of what the sound that it makes. Here it goes. Now when I first turn this on, you're going to hear a buzzing noise. That buzzing noise is coming from the guitar that's hooked up. You know, it's basically another amplifier that I'm just turning on is what's happening. That's what the talk box is. So you hear that buzz? That's the sound that the talk box makes. That's why you don't have the talk box on the entire time you're playing, right? You turn it on right when you're going to use it. By that time, there's a bunch of music and stuff going on in the background. So you're not going to hear all that noise. But when you go to turn it on, then you end up with... You get the idea. So you get the idea, right? So that's what it is, man. When you're actually getting the sound that you want to get, it's kind of like, try to picture you're pressing on a wah pedal, because that's what you're trying to recreate. You're trying to create that wah sound, right? Because people also ask me, what are you saying into the microphone? I'm not saying anything. I'm just modulating the space in my mouth, which changes the way that sounds inside my mouth, and the microphone's picking that up. Now, here's a cool thing about this thing. If I want to make this louder and more aggressive, it has a volume, gain, and tone. So I'm going to turn it up, make it a little more aggressive, and you're going to hear the difference. So that's how it works. You turn it on to use it. Sound's coming up here. Use your mouth to modulate the sound. You get that crazy little sound coming out. So now I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to show you real quick with another camera how this whole thing is wired up. Get you an idea of how this works. All right, so here we go. So here's the actual talk box. I should have started the other way, right? So here's the actual talk box. This is what it looks like. It's, like I said, it's nothing more than a speaker with a tube. Here you got the volume, the tone, and the gain. That right there, that's a speaker. You could actually see the center of the cone there a little bit. This little pipe goes connected here, sends it up this tube, right here. And that's exactly how it works. Put your mouth on that, you end up with a, well, I don't know if I should say that, but you go ahead and use that, and you end up with a pretty cool sound. That's it. You modulate with your mouth. So here it is. So you could see that all I'm using here is the input. You can't really see because of the way I have the hose wired up. Let me just unplug it to show you. See, I'm just using the input. I use it that way because I use this wire to hold the hose in place so that there's no little tricks. Like that. There you go. See? So that holds that there. See how I have nothing connected to the output? That's because the output is coming through here, right? In a more traditional sense, the way you would do this, you would put this in the chain. And then when you turn it on, what happens is this output kicks off. Nothing comes out of there. And you just get sound out of here. So I'm using it in a different way. This is the way I use it. And then my input comes, I have this compressor, by the way, set up before it. My input comes from the second output of my VH4-2. See how I'm using this? This is the one I use that goes into my interface. And this is the one I use that goes into the talk box. So I essentially have two outputs that I get to pick from. And that's how I'm able to get both sounds going at the same time. Because another thing I've noticed too is I've seen people use the talk box, and when they turn it on, you can hear that the guitar dropped out, and then what you're hearing is just the microphone. And it still sounds good, but it sounds a little less full, right? So that's it. That's the way I wire it that way, Oh, here, you guys want to see something? I added some lights to the freaking tool shed. Check this out. See all those little LEDs and stuff? I added all this. And it changes colors. And it does party time. But the red seems to be the one I like the most. This is the Rosetta Stone video that I'm working on, so I can play that with Rosetta Stone. Okay, back to what we're doing here. So yeah, so that's how this thing is wired up, man. Maybe one day I'll do a more in-depth look at my entire pedal board. But this is the basic of it here. So that's it. When you turn this on, get the little sound out of here, right? And that's how that works, man. All right, guys, thanks for watching as always, man. I hope you learned something here today. If you did, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a follow, leave me a comment. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next time on my next live lesson. We're going to go over Jambi this time. We're going to learn Jambi. All right, guys, take it easy. Practice today. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. All right, bye.